home to places that make no sense. Locations so hostile, so extreme, so alien that they seem designed to reject human presence entirely. These aren't tourist traps dressed up with warning signs. They're landscapes shaped by volcanic fury, crushing isolation, and conditions that punish every mistake with death. Some hide in plain sight. Others sit at the edge of the known world, waiting. What you're about to see are the places most people will never visit. Not because they can't, but because survival isn't guaranteed. This is Hider Planet, and we're going to the places nobody wants to go. Big Bend National Park, USA. 300,000 acres of empty desert, and you're on your own. Big Bend sits in far west Texas, wedged against the Mexican border, where the Rio Grande carves a massive V-shaped turn northward. That bend created canyons, so deep the sun only touches the bottom for a few hours a day. Santa Elena Canyon's limestone walls shoot straight up 1,500 feet on both sides. In summer, ground temperatures hit 150 degrees Fahrenheit. There are mountain lions, rattlesnakes, and sections where cell service hasn't existed since the invention of cell phones. Big Bend holds the lowest light pollution levels in the continental United States, which sounds romantic until you realize it also means you're hundreds of miles from the nearest hospital. Get hurt here and rescue could take days. Danakil Depression, Ethiopia. Imagine standing in a place where the ground is literally melting beneath your feet. The Danakil Depression in northeastern Ethiopia sits 410 feet below sea level and regularly records air temperatures above 130 degrees Fahrenheit. It is one of the hottest inhabited places on the planet. Sulfuric acid pools bubble across the landscape in neon yellows and greens, creating scenes that look ripped from another planet. Toxic gases vent from cracks in the earth without warning. The Afar people have mined salt here for centuries, walking camel caravans across terrain that has killed dozens of tourists and researchers. In 2012, an entire group of visitors was attacked by armed raiders in the region. Danakil doesn't just discourage visitors. It actively tries to destroy them. Tajikistan Pamir Highway. If someone ranked the world's most reckless roads, the Pamir Highway would sit near the top and laugh at everything below it. This is the second highest international highway on Earth, threading through the Pamir Mountains at altitudes above 15,000 feet. There are no guardrails. Long stretches have no asphalt at all, just gravel and prayer. On one side, the Panj River Gorge drops hundreds of feet. On the other side, the sheer cliffs of Afghanistan stare back at you. For centuries, camel caravans and explorers like Marco Polo used the same route. Soviet-era tanks still rust along the roadside, relics of a war that ended decades ago, but left scars the mountains haven't forgotten. Oxygen is thin, medical help is non-existent, and when a rock slide blocks the road, you simply wait, sometimes for days. Skeleton Coast, Namibia. The Sam Bushmen called it the land God made in anger. Portuguese sailors called it the gates of hell. The Skeleton Coast stretches over 300 miles along Namibia's Atlantic shore. Its name comes from the bleached bones of whales and the rusting hulls of shipwrecks that litter the sand. Thick fog rolls in from the cold Benguela Current almost every day, reducing visibility to near zero. Sailors who survived shipwrecks and made it to shore face an even worse fate. Hundreds of miles of barren desert with no water, no food, and no way out. Over 1,000 vessels have wrecked here. The skeletons of some crews were found decades later, miles inland, still walking toward help that never came. Faroe Islands. This is a visual trick that fools your brain. From a certain angle, a lake on the island of Vagar appears to float hundreds of meters above the Atlantic Ocean. The Faroe Islands sit halfway between Norway and Iceland, and they exist in a permanent state of wind, rain, and fog. Before 2004, the village of Gsadler was nearly cut off from civilization. The only way in was climbing mountains over 1,300 feet high. When a tunnel was finally blasted through the rock, fewer than 20 residents remained. Life here isn't about comfort. It's about endurance. The Faroes are proof that some humans chose to settle in places the rest of the world forgot, and stayed anyway. Lake Natron, Tanzania. The water looks like a wound. Lake Natron in northern Tanzania glows in shades of deep red and burnt orange, colored by cyanobacteria that thrive in its alkaline waters. The lake's pH level can reach 10.5, nearly as caustic as ammonia. Water temperatures hit 140 degrees Fahrenheit in spots. Animals that die in the lake become calcified, preserved in ghostly poses as mineral deposits coat their bodies. Photographs of these petrified creatures went viral, making Lake Natron look like nature's version of Medusa. Despite all of this, it's the primary breeding ground for over 2 million lesser flamingos. They're one of the few species tough enough to handle it. For everything else, contact with this water means chemical burns, or worse. Take a moment to absorb that. We're talking about a lake that literally turns animals to stone. These aren't exaggerations or legends. They're documented, photographed realities. If you're finding value in understanding the extremes our planet hides in plain sight, hit that like button and let the algorithm know. We have much more ahead. Corcovado National Park, Costa Rica. This is a manicured nature reserve with gift shops and paved trails. Corcovado sits on Costa Rica's remote OSA peninsula, and getting there feels like traveling back in time. You either take a boat through tangled mangrove forests or fly in on a tiny prop plane that lands on a grass strip in the middle of the jungle. National Geographic once called it the most biologically intense place on Earth. Inside its borders live jaguars, bull sharks, Fairlands vipers, and 4 species of sea turtle. In the 1970s, loggers and gold miners nearly destroyed it. Scientists raced to convince the government to protect it, and the national park was established in 1975. Just in time. Walk off the marked trail here, and the jungle swallows you whole. Theth Albanian Alps. Legend says these peaks are cursed. The Albanian Alps rise like broken teeth along the country's northern border, and the village of Theth hides deep in a valley surrounded by jagged limestone walls. For decades, this place didn't appear on any tourism map. The only path in was a rough mountain trail that kept the village sealed off from the modern world. That isolation preserved something rare, a community untouched by development, surrounded by scenery that rivals anything in Switzerland or France. But the terrain is merciless. Landslides erase trails overnight. Winter snow buries the valley for months. And the blood feuds of the canon, the ancient Albanian code of law, kept families locked in cycles of revenge killings well into the 21st century. Beauty and danger share every square foot of Theth. Svaneti, Georgia. If one image could define Svaneti, it would be the ancient stone towers rising from a green valley like fists pushed up from the earth. These towers weren't decorative. They were defensive, built by families over centuries to survive invasions, avalanches, and each other. Svaneti is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, tucked into the highest inhabited region of the Caucasus Mountains. While the rest of Georgia was conquered repeatedly by Mongols, Persians, and Russians, Svaneti was almost never fully taken. The terrain simply wouldn't allow it. The road features winding mountain passes that collapse in winter landslides. That difficulty acts as a natural filter, keeping out casual tourists and leaving only those willing to earn the view. Svaneti is evidence that the world still has corners untouched by commercialization. Gates of Hell, Turkmenistan. In 1971, Soviet geologists were drilling for natural gas in Karakum Desert when the ground collapsed beneath their equipment, opening a crater 230 feet wide and 65 feet deep. Fearing toxic methane would leak into nearby villages, they set it on fire, expecting it to burn out in a few weeks. That was over 50 years ago. The Darvaza Gas Crater is still burning. At night, the orange glow is visible for miles across the flat desert, and the heat is strong enough to push you back from a rim. Locals named it the Gates of Hell, and standing at the edge, staring into a pit of fire that has burned since before you were born, it's hard to argue with them. Yakushima, Japan. Rain falls here 300 days a year. That's not a figure of speech. It's a meteorological fact. Yakushima is a subtropical island off the southern coast of Kyushu, blanketed in ancient cedar forest so thick that sunlight barely reaches the ground. Some of these trees are over 1,000 years old. The oldest, called Jamin Sugi, may be over 7,000 years old, standing since before the Egyptian pyramids were built. Moss covers every surface. Water drips from every branch. The forest floor is a sponge that squelches under your boots. Hayao Miyazaki based the forest in Princess Mononoke on Yakushima, and walking through it feels exactly like stepping into that film. Hauntingly beautiful, completely disorienting. The kind of place where you lose the trail and the forest decides when you find again. Madagascar. People assume Madagascar is just a big island off the coast of Africa. It's more accurate to call it a separate world. After breaking away from the supercontinent Gondwana roughly 88 million years ago, Madagascar evolved in total isolation. Approximately 90% of its plant and animal species exist nowhere else on Earth. The famous baobab trees of the Avenue of the Baobabs look like they've been ripped from the ground and replanted upside down, their root-like branches clawing at the sky. Local belief holds that these trees are the spirits of ancestors watching over the arid land. But Madagascar's beauty masks a crisis. Slash-and-burn agriculture has destroyed over 80% of the island's original forest. Species are going extinct before scientists can even name them. This is one of the most unique ecosystems on the planet, and it's disappearing in real time. I want to hear from travelers watching this. Have any of you set foot on Madagascar? Seen the baobabs in person? This community includes some of the most well-traveled people on YouTube. Share your stories in the comments. And if you're new here, welcome to a channel that goes beyond the surface. Subscribe and let's keep going, because the next entries get far more extreme. Kotor Bay, Montenegro. Most people assume Kotor Bay is a fjord. It's not. It's a ria, a submerged river valley carved deep into the Adriatic coast. The sheer limestone cliffs of the Origin and Lovesome mountain ranges press in from both sides, squeezing deep blue water into narrow channels that feel claustrophobic from the deck of a boat. Unlike the tourist chaos of Venice or nearby Dubrovnik, Kotor holds onto a quieter, stranger atmosphere. At night, lights from medieval fortifications reflect on water, so still it looks like black glass. The old town walls climb nearly 4,500 feet up the mountainside, built and rebuilt over 1,000 years by Romans, Byzantines, Venetians, and Ottomans. Kotor isn't a place trying to attract you. It's a place that existed long before you and will exist long after. Erta Ale, Ethiopia. There's a volcano in the Afar Triangle of Ethiopia that has maintained a continuous lava lake for over a century. Erta Ale, meaning smoking mountain in the Afar language, sits in one of the most tectonically active regions on the planet, where 3 continental plates are pulling apart. The trek to the summit takes roughly 4 hours across basalt desert in temperatures that stay above 100 degrees Fahrenheit after dark. Armed military escorts are required because of ongoing conflicts between local groups. When you reach the caldera rim and look down, you see molten rock churning in real time, glowing orange, cracking, folding over itself. In 2017, the lava lake overflowed, sending rivers of magma down the slope and forcing an emergency evacuation. Erta Ale rewards you with one of the rarest sights on Earth. The price of admission is risking your life to see it. Lofoten Islands, Norway. Sharp mountain peaks shouldn't exist next to white sand beaches, but in Lofoten they do. This archipelago inside the Arctic Circle combines ancient rock formations but water hovers around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Around. Freezing is what feel impossible. Villages into the ocean like walls. Why? 12,000 possible. You try hitting better stars and instinct, but the real surprise lies nearby. Wadi Bani Khalid hides just beyond the sand. A lush valley of cool, thick feels like a hallucination. desert, endless, then sudden impossible green. The landscape does gas. There's a reason they call it Death Road. Northern Gas Road Drive.